Hey guys, it's Sarah. If you're new to my videos, you can subscribe, but if you don't want to, you do not have to. Okay, so for this video, I'm doing another story time. There is a YouTube video about Julia and I going to Oregon and doing the whole Twilight tour. Well, whenever we stayed at the Airbnb, there was a main issue, obviously from the title, as you can see, and everything was great. Honestly, I had a great experience, and the woman who we met who owned the house was super sweet. She set out Twilight movies for us, so it's nothing against her. We were on a farm. There were two rooms. Was like as soon as you walk inside of the Airbnb, there was the room on the right and the room by the bathroom, which is the room that I was in. Julia and I just decided to like stay in that room for a little bit first and, you know, get ready together and all those things before we went out and did Twilight stuff. A day went by, it was fine, and then maybe the second day, Julia was brushing her teeth and her contacts were out because she was washing her face, took her contacts out, and I think she was in the middle of something over the sink. I was like putting on my PJs and I saw a spider. And I don't even know if putting this on the internet and saying what my fear is a good thing. I don't know, but I don't like spiders. I saw a spider and I freaked out and I said, Julia, kill it. She's like, Sarah, no, you're gonna have to kill it because I can't see. Like, I can't see. Kill it now before it gets away. So I killed it. I realized after I killed it, like I got a shoe and I was like, ah, and I just smashed it. I realized after I killed it, it was a daddy long leg. So I wasn't as afraid as I thought I would be. The next day I woke up and I was getting something out of my luggage, and in the room there was a table that I had all of my face stuff on. It was a small table. It was a rolling table. My luggage was next to this table. I pulled my luggage out, opened it up, and I realized that there was a spider under the table. Another daddy long leg was under this table. So I'm half asleep still because I just woke up. Julia's still sleeping and I'm trying to gather my thoughts and get ready for the day. I see this spider and just something in me told me, look in the corners of the room. So I turned and there's a spider in the corner. It was another daddy long leg, but it was a baby daddy long leg. And I realized in all of these corners that there was dust in all of these corners and spider webs. I immediately was like, oh my gosh, there's spider webs! And Julia was already asleep and she's like, Sarah, we're staying on a farm. What do you expect? Like, what do you expect to be happening? So I was like, ah, and I killed it and I screamed when I killed both of them. And Julia was like, seriously? Yeah, I took all my stuff off of the table. Like, I just grabbed all my stuff and threw it in my bag. I made sure that my bags were zipped, shook off all of my stuff, got ready, whatever. So then, after we had a long day in Portland, we came back and there was another daddy long leg under the table. Every time I looked under the table, it was there. Like, I started realizing that there is a pattern here, that this room is infested with daddy long legs. Like, oh my gosh, I'm itching just thinking about it. It was terrible. I quickly knew that this was a problem. Like, I can't sleep here. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna have to sleep on the couch. I don't know if I'm gonna have to do something, but I can't sleep here. So, like, I was freaking out. So then after that, I had Julia kill it this time. Like, I said, Julia, you have to kill it this time because I'm starting to lose energy for this. And luckily for me, they were daddy long legs, because daddy long legs can't hurt you. They're super harmless. Yeah, it's still a spider, but it never really scared me as much as every other spider when I was a kid. So daddy long legs are probably the only spiders I can deal with. So Julia killed it. And then it was like, after that, it was pretty much on the clock. And I was doing this to myself. I really was. Every hour when I'd go in the room, I would look under the table, already knowing that there's gonna be another daddy long leg there. Every time. There was a solid 7. I moved my stuff away from the table. I didn't even want to flip the table because I already knew that there was a family of them under there. So I stayed in the living room for a little bit and watched a movie in there. And there was daddy long legs in the corner of the living room. I'm kind of annoyed because technically they're supposed to dust. This woman was really booked. We barely got the spots that we did when we stayed there. And I get it, like, people get tired and stuff, but like, you're supposed to dust and clean before the next guest comes in. I mean, the room was straightened up, but nothing was swept or dusted, and that was already a big problem, because had she dusted, it might have not been as big of a problem as it was. Remember how I said that there was a room on the right first, and then the room by the bathroom, which is where the daddy long legs were? So Julia and I, we moved to the room on the right, but first Julia went to go and check to see if that room was in the clear. And a part of me was like, you know, there's no way that that room doesn't have daddy long legs too. Like, if there's daddy long legs in this house, then they're gonna be everywhere. So what's the point of moving? The room on the right was spotless. And that's the first room you see when you walk in that sliding door. So she's like, no, there's not even dust, no bugs, nothing. She shook the bed sheets, everything. And I'm just like, they cleaned this room, but not the other one. This room was closer to outside. I was kind of annoyed that they cleaned that room, but not the other one. So I shook off all my stuff and we stayed in that room for the remaining of the time. I don't know if anybody's had similar Airbnb experiences. That was my first, I think, official Airbnb that I really stayed at. I don't know, like the majority of people that I know, spiders aren't their biggest fear. I think what makes me the most fearful of spiders is since there's so many different types, you just don't know which ones are poisonous. Every time I see a spider, I just don't know if it's dangerous or not. Well, one of the things that happened when I was a child was when I was at my grandma's, I was in my room. I was laying down watching TV like a normal kid would be doing, and I turned and look in the corner and there was a spider there, and it was a super small spider. I could not kill it. I got pieces of paper. I crunched up paper in my hand and threw them at this spider thinking, like, what did I think that that would do? Nothing. Even if it did hit the spider. And I was home alone. So all this is happening and I'm home alone. Luckily, I think maybe 5 minutes goes by and I hear my grandma walk in the house and I'm just like, oh, thank goodness, there's a spider, please kill it. Luckily, the spider hadn't moved. I had terrible aim. So she went in there, killed it, and that was that. And she came out and she gave me a very serious look. And she's like, you're lucky I got here when I did. And I was like, why? And she's like, that spider was a brown recluse and it could kill you. That spider was it was the tiniest thing. It wasn't even the size of the spider was so small. Probably one of the most smallest spiders I had ever seen. And that just increased my fear. During this time of my life, I was scared of spiders, but I wasn't that scared. But then I started realizing, wow, these things can kill you. That thing can kill you? That little thing? Anyways, yeah, so that's my childhood trauma. Thank you guys so much for watching my video. If you watched this entire story time, I love you so much. I know that this was really off the charts, but it was a story that I thought maybe people would relate to this or understand some part of it. Check the reviews on your Airbnbs and stay safe.